Can you explain what emotional safety means in the context of entrepreneurship and why it's so critical?
Yes. So I would say emotional safety is this feeling that you're kind of holding yourself, like you're protecting yourself, you're giving yourself what you need to be okay and to thrive. And you're almost creating like a protective barrier between yourself and your self-worth and what everybody else is saying and doing and thinking around you. It takes a long time to build that, especially when you have these people-pleasing tendencies that come from your childhood or come from these traumatic situations that you've had. But it's really the best thing any entrepreneur can do is to build that trust and confidence within themselves and to know that if they end up in a shitty situation, they will knock it on its head. Like they will turn things around because that's what they do. So when we think about building trust with ourselves and building safety within ourselves, it's just like flexing a muscle. Like the more times you do it and the more times you observe that you're doing it and you recognize that you're doing it, that the more it becomes a normal thing that you do and the easier it becomes. And you could be practicing this for decades, for the whole rest of your life before it even becomes something that you just inherently do. But it does become easier over time. And I think it's the most important practice that anybody can have. One of the things I do with my students is we have a little wins area where they can celebrate their wins. And it can be anything, like small things, big things. And I do it too because I'm also practicing it. So even just yesterday, I recolor coded my whole calendar and I was like, look, this is a win for me. It feels fun. It feels good. Like to look at my schedule and not be intimidated by anything and to know like to learn how much stuff is a good amount of stuff where it doesn't feel overwhelming, but it feels exciting. And there's not nothing there. So you're not like, what am I going to do? But there's just like a good amount of stuff there. Like that's
Mhm.
very individual and no one can tell you what that has to be. You have to create that for yourself. So I think the emotional safety is just knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay.
Right. And also, it definitely feels unsafe to tie your self-worth to your work and your productivity and your results. So how do we untangle our self-worth from our productivity or results in business? I mean, especially as like a creator, anything involving numbers, which is business, it's so easy to tie yourself to that high number or low number, whatever it
Hmm.
is that you're in. Or even like, can you give us just an actionable step that we can do today to help
Hmm.
inch us towards untangling ourselves with those two?
Yeah. I think the finance part we can keep separate and then we can look at the other parts too, because they are quite different, even though it's the same type of approach. So with the finance side, you've got to be able to zoom out enough to look at the patterns or the whole, not just like day to day, week to week, month to month. It's going to fluctuate a lot. That's just what entrepreneurship is. You can't expect it to be stable. That's crazy. Like you literally cannot expect that. Nobody should be expecting that. You can definitely work towards a model that has more monthly recurring revenue and things like that if you want to, but you've got to at least minimum quarterly when you look at your finances, if not every 6 months or every year. You cannot be analyzing yourself financially while you're actually trying to build your business. It's just not fair to do that. The other part of it is that you're a lot of people become an entrepreneur because money actually isn't that important to them. They value other things a lot more than money. They might want money, but they realize it's not the be all and end all of life. Like they actually want a better quality of life. They want more freedom. They want to travel. They want to spend time with their loved ones. They want to work less so that they can focus on their health or whatever it is. Like there's real reasons why you chose to become an entrepreneur. And those are the metrics that we should actually be looking at, not
Right.
the financial ones or not the outcomes. Like the outcomes can be whatever the outcomes are that we want them to be. So for me, the only thing that I really assess is, am I enjoying my life?
Mhm.
Is it joyful? Is it easy? Does it flow? Do I feel like I'm in alignment? Those are the
Mhm.
only metrics I actually care about now. Nothing else really matters. So if I see myself get caught up into comparing myself to other people or comparing like, why am I not making as much money as I was before and all these things. I'm like, because I chose to prioritize the things that actually matter to me. That's why. And a lot of the time, the money does follow that because people do pick up on your energy and your passion, and they see that you're genuinely thriving and they want to be around you and they want to learn from you. And then you can sell stuff to them and you can help them. So it's kind of flipping everything on its head and realizing that the best way that you can serve people is to be your most thriving, authentic self and then let them come to you when they're ready, as opposed to trying to convince them that you are when you're not.
Right. That's so funny because I do talk about this with a lot of people, and how, at least my philosophy with life and my work, it's like, okay, Mia, as long as you, I say choose the light. It's like, as long as you choose the light for yourself and you keep following the light and you keep doing what feels good and is aligned, the people who come to you, like whether it's clients, viewers, friends, relationships, they have already chose the light for themselves, and that's why they're in your world, and you just help to guide them, you know? You you don't want to force someone who's not ready, because that's not your job. Like, your job is to welcome the people who have already chosen for themselves and they need that guidance. So I think that's so powerful, like living in your truth, because you can tell when someone is trying to sell you something or is trying to put on a certain facade, but it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Right. So I think
Yeah.
that that's definitely like the most important thing, especially if you are
Yeah.
helping people in your career.
Yeah. And you can also tell when somebody has a business that they don't actually like very much, because everything feels like a struggle. And you wouldn't be surprised if next week they had a totally different business. You can tell, you can really tell. And that's why people don't want to work with them, because they can sense that they're out of alignment. It's like the words make sense, but the energy doesn't match the words. So there's a distrust there. And I have intuition about that all the time. I'm like, yeah, this person's going to be doing a totally different thing a year from now. And then sure enough, they do. Same thing with relationships, same thing with, like health. Like, people say that they're doing something, but they're actually not aligned with it. And then after a period of struggling with it, they just go do what they actually want to do. Or, there's this disconnect. So yeah, people can tell. It's much harder if you try to force yourself when you're not ready, or try to force other people when they're not ready.